What is Child's Play Math? It's quite simply a philosophy in action. Play is fundamental to Child's Play Math, a program that places your child at the heart of the learning experience. Play is the process that drives the program forward at every stage. The question is, are you prepared to embark on a journey of self-discovery with your child? A journey through a rich and colourful landscape of pattern and relationships. A journey that will ensure your child discovers foundational math concepts naturally and incidentally as he or she engages in play and problem solving, always matched to his or her level of development. If the answer is yes, then Child's Play Math will enable you and your child to discover that learning math can be a hugely enjoyable and rewarding adventure. Let's take a look at what you will discover during part 1 of the program. Child's Play Math, Unit 22. The importance of reviewing. We saw earlier on the learning equation. Learning equals memory plus understanding. And that's been a focus of everything that we've been doing. Memory recall through mental imaging, and understanding through the manipulation, actually kinesthetic, tactile working with the rods. The regular reviewing is vital to consolidate our learning, and it's a good process sometimes just for us as adults to look back and see what we've done and reflect on what we've achieved. Children enjoy reviewing what they've learned because it gives them reassurance and it builds self-esteem. It reinforces actually what they know. It's great for confidence building. Let's take a look at what we've covered so far. Well, we looked at free play and children's artistic creations and how you should talk about them. We talked about the importance of play, how it was foundational, and children had needed plenty of time. And at any stage in the program, they need time just to play with the rods, to familiarize themselves, to enjoy the rods, so that rods are viewed as something pleasurable. Record children's work and value it. Offer plenty of encouragement and praise. You know, that's the most important learning state of all, the emotional learning state. If children are emotionally ready, they will not learn. And encouragement and praise can help create that environment, create that climate. And of course, there was the incidental learning, what children were actually discovering and concepts they were grasping as they were playing with the rods. For example, simple number bonds. They will play with the rods and see perhaps red and light green when placed end to end is equivalent to a yellow rod. 2 plus 3 is 5. So they were learning number bonds without even realizing it. Color is so important. Such an underused quality, if you like, in learning. Concepts are discovered through color before number. This is a powerful stimulus for memory recall. We had directed activities where the manipulation of the rods, where you set a challenge for the child, they manipulated the rod, and we saw that how that improved manual dexterity and it stimulates the brain. We saw how manual dexterity actually does stimulate the brain. And then we looked at imaging and visualization. We were helping children acquire a retentive memory. Once they begin to internalize the rods, if you like, once they begin to be able to just shut their eyes and see the patterns and relationships, then we are gone a long way down the road to create a retentive memory, and understanding and learning are becoming married together. We play games, lots of games we play to ensure children acquired a mental image of the rods, lots of verbal games, quick fire games, plenty of games that you play with the children. Especially when you do it without the rods and you ask them to visualize it, you can do so much then. Of course, there was the vocabulary. We had to introduce the correct color names for the rods. And then after we'd introduced the color names of the rods, we introduced the letter names of the rods, which would be used to build up the mathematical sentences. And continuing on the theme of vocabulary, we introduced the basic vocabulary during sessions of free play. This is standard vocabulary that would be used throughout the program. Sorry about that. That would be used through, and of course there was vocabulary. Throughout the program, we'd be introducing a basic standard vocabulary during sessions of free play, and there it is on the screen in front of you. After introducing the initial letter names, and this is the language we would use to help children understand mathematical concepts. Staircase is very powerful, actually used for recall up and down, but very, very powerful. And we'll see later on how they we can use them in a variety of ways, especially to build up an understanding of the structure and framework of number. Signs. We introduced the signs. Of course, they are very important because we want children to be able to read the mathematical sentences, the patterns that they create with the rods themselves. We introduced less than, greater than. We introduced a sign for addition, for equivalence, and for multiplication. We also introduced the signs for division, and we even looked at brackets for emphasis. If you remember the say it quick technique when we bracket things together, and also when you're dealing with more than two numbers, we have to use brackets. And then that also included the left-to-right orientation, which helped with links to language. And going back to signs and language, there was of course the link between learning to read and write and the phonetic language of the alphabet. A lot of children struggle with that. It can be such a difficult problem they have with the phonics and so on. But with maths, it's an ideographic language. It's much easier for children to cope with, and they become empowered to read the equations much quicker. And the link, of course, is that they are learning to read. The left-to-right orientation, they're learning to translate the written form into a language that they can understand. In fact, that's what they're doing with their patterns, things that they make. Introducing the signs over a short period of time was important. We did that. These signs will enable your children then to read what they have created in a variety of ways, as I've just said. So we covered that. That's been done. And remember, we introduced the signs as games, kinesthetic and visual, auditory as well. A lot of quick fire questions. What do I need to put end to end with a green rod to make it equivalent to the blue rod, and so on. those were read and written as a sentence. We read what children created. They read it, and then after they'd done enough oral work, enough creative with the rod, they would then be able to write them down as a sentence. And the games have become increasingly more challenging. Our aim is for children to become fluent at reading mathematical sentences, equations. These are equations that they created themselves. But in later life, when they are introduced to the more formal aspects of algebra, this fear will be removed. They'll understand that there are patterns and relationships behind numbers. They'll know how to read equations because they've already done it. Children need plenty of opportunity for oral work before attempting to write. We covered that, the importance of plenty of oral work before attempting to write anything down. And their ability to read, we saw, will always be in advance of their ability to write. So plenty of experience they need daily with the rods and challenges. And what is vital, and this is vital because it's the climate that you're creating, the educational climate, the learning climate that you're creating for your child, that everything is treated as a game to be enjoyed for the sheer pleasure of playing. We want to get them in that flow state. So encouragement and praise should always be the climate in which your child is learning. Well, that was a short video, but I think an important one, just to reflect upon what we have covered. We've covered quite a lot so far, and your child has learned, hopefully, a lot so far, and is now ready to go even further. And the next time we look at the importance of questions